Why do people believe in a God? Funny question, isn't it? Part 3, and that's it. All but the first are so absurd that they don't deserve consideration. If all that God does is appear on slices of pizza, then that's not a God I'd want to worship anyway. And that well, doctors can make mistakes, and there's still much about the human body and diseases that we don't know. Still, if it was actually God doing it, and since God has no limits, then why doesn't he heal amputees? Are those beyond God? Does God hate them for some reason? You're desperate for a miracle. Similar to the previous one, but in this case the miracle hasn't happened yet. But you're desperate and ready to try anything, including becoming religious, or, possibly, changing religions. You see your death getting closer and closer. You don't really want your existence to end. If something, anything, promises that it won't, that there is an afterlife, you grab it. The example of another believer or believers inspired you. I'd say that this is actually more common in less religious societies, like in Europe, than in more fundamentalist ones, like the US or Muslim countries. I've seen it happen myself. Some of the best people I knew in my youth were devout believers, though not fundamentalists, and they radiated happiness and love wherever they went. It's quite natural for others to be inspired by them. But I'd say that they weren't good people because of religion, they'd be good people anyway. Other believers were there for you when you needed it. Similar to the above, and, again, I know cases like that. Say, you were going through a bad phase, your close family rejected you for some reason, you didn't have any real friends, and the only people who really cared and tried to help were members of a church. It's understandable that you may start to believe too. Still, I maintain that you don't need God or religion to be a good, caring human being. There are good and bad theists, and good and bad atheists. You like the sense of community that comes from belonging to a church. Again, similar. In this particular case, curiously, you don't even need God, it's the group itself, and its activities, that makes you feel like a part of something. Being told what to do, and what to think comforts you. Sad, but true. A lot of people don't want the burden and the responsibility of having to think and decide for themselves, and anyone or anything who relieves them of that burden and responsibility will have their hearts and minds. This doesn't happen only with religion, of course. Many people join groups, religious or otherwise, just so they can be told what to do and think. While reading the Bible, something made you believe. I almost didn't include this one, as I'm convinced that reading the Bible, critically and dispassionately, and in its entirety, will unconvert at least 10 people for each one it helps converting. Almost everyone who reads the Bible already believes. I've never heard of someone believing just because they read the Bible. Even most Christians are forced to ignore most of it. And that's it. I've tried to be comprehensive, but it's possible that I missed a couple of reasons now. Please be honest, if you're a believer, do you fit into one, or more, of the above? Or is your case different? I'd like to know.